a few celebs slid in my DMs, all supportive, beautiful messages saying that they watched the show and that they love watching the journey and our love story unfold and just how they love watching us.
I remember when Miley Cyrus sent me a DM.
Oh, right.
I was like totally shocked. It was because she wanted us to come on her Instagram show.
Right.
Hey, I hit up Lauren too. Would be so cute if y'all wanted to do the show. Maybe y'all can teach me that dance, LOL. Hi Miley, we'd love to. How do we make that happen? We'll definitely show you our dance moves. Picture.
I was like, oh yeah, we're totally best friends with Miley now.
Yeah.
She DM'd you, we're besties. Tiffany, I love New York. Even way back when the show came out, she said, I'm so happy for you, queen. She said, y'all make such a beautiful couple. Love is life. Then she said, I won't repeat that part, but I don't want to blow up her spot. But she said, goddess, LOL, you're the best.
I'm thankful he said no because I wouldn't have wanted a half husband. I do. I love you. I knew that I wanted you in my life.
Absolutely. Bartice. I do not.
Our relationship about halfway through completely changed. I told him I was gonna say no 2 weeks into being in Dallas, and he said, please give me another chance, I wanna turn things around.
Both answers were a possibility on wedding day, and I felt that for both of us. Nancy told me straight up a week before the wedding that she was gonna say no to me. And that kind of like scared me a little bit and encouraged me to remind myself who I fell in love with in the pods.
The last 2 weeks leading up to the wedding, it was the we, the us, the future, the journey, our kids, all these things that was in the future. So our conversations and his actions were completely leading up to a yes. So that's why I felt so blindsided. Love is blindsided for me.
Raven's like the typical girl that I would go after in the real world. Like Raven's, she came down, she wearing the tight clothes. I was like, okay, she's a fucking smoke show. She's hot as shit. I was like, okay. We're both like the person that people come to, and we both draw attention. They see Raven, they see me, they say, okay, that's the person I want to go talk to because they look good.
I think I learned the most watching it back in my direct and my like brutal honesty and kind of insensitivity. So watching it back, I was like very embarrassed and ashamed to see myself doing all that. So I think that's what I learned. Maybe change the communication style when I'm dealing with delivering information to somebody that I care about that might hurt them.
For me, when I think about marriage and love and a fiance, it was really giving it my all and trying to give him grace for the mistakes that he had made up to that point, and allowing him to be who he was, right?
The real world compared to the pods, we haven't gotten there for me yet. The stuff that we talked about on a daily basis just didn't make sense for me to get here and be like, I wholeheartedly want to make Nancy Rodriguez my wife forever.
It's ironic because our relationship through Love is Blind is depicted as a roller coaster, which absolutely it was. And I would say that that's what it's continued to be, not romantic-wise. Like we've gone from being friends to being acquaintances to being completely no communication, back to friends, back to like, okay, what's best for both of us? So we're still in communication. As where it stands right now, I would call us acquaintances. But you know what? Like we went through so much together, and like that's just a unique shared experience that we're always going to have. So I do always want her to be a part of my life, and I hope that she feels the same way.
I'm thankful he said no because I wouldn't have wanted a half husband if he wasn't all in to provide everlasting love, unconditional no matter what. I'm thankful he said no.
I was just so confident that we could have like an amazing life together and really just be each other's best friends.
Secure. Do you take Raven Michelle Ross to be your wife? If so, say I do.
I do not. Leading up to the wedding, I was still in a very, very good shape. I felt like, the differences we had and the things we were working on, challenges working through, were something we could resolve. But at the end of the day, when I came to the altar on that day, there were still outstanding things that we just saw differently, both of us.
I'm going back to grad school in the fall in California.
Oh.
Yeah.
Her schedule is crazy, and then for her to get on a flight and fly, it's gonna be a lot for her.
I definitely don't want my quality of living to suffer.
I didn't feel at the moment that adding a marriage on top of that would help fix those differences. That's really what it came down to me.
Was planning on saying yes today. I just want to lay down.
You don't know the way this feels. I think our relationship really started from like a hard place, and we were able to grow every single day and just build each other up. So by the time that we got to our wedding, especially for me, I was just so confident that we could have like an amazing life together and really just be each other's best friends.
I really love you. Like, I feel like this can go the distance. I love you too. I felt like he was just really reassuring and like really saw me for me, which no man had ever really like done before.
That made me really confident going into it, and I think I kind of like maybe was a little too confident and didn't really come back to reality that, you know, my partner might be in a different place on that day.
I feel like today is not the best time for us to do this.
Oh, give me a
Right now, Raven and I are just taking it one day at a time. We are in good terms. You know, we talked after the wedding, and yeah.
We have been through a lot together, and that's all I'm gonna say.
More than a year after the Love is Blind couple called it quits, Natalie is accusing her former fiancé of auditioning for Netflix's new series Perfect Match while they were still together. Fans may recall the two briefly reconciled after Natalie rejected Shane at the altar in season 2. And now she's spilling her side of what led to their final breakup. She posts on her IG story, "I knew about the new dating show back in September 2021 because Shane and I were both approached to apply for it while we were in a relationship. Casting didn't know we were together at the time. We told each other we declined the opportunity, but I later found out he actually didn't decline and started the casting process in November 2021 without my knowledge at the time while we were still together." Natalie and Shane split that same month and later appeared on the Love is Blind Season 2 reunion.
You have disrespected me, you have insulted me, you have critiqued me, and for what it is worth, you have single-handedly shattered my self-confidence.
Don't think for a minute that Zanab Deepti copied Deepti Vempati's declaration at the altar. In the Season 3 finale of Love is Blind, viewers saw Zanab turn down fiancé Cole Barnett and accuse him of ruining her self-confidence.
Love shouldn't feel this way. Love shouldn't hurt like this. I can't marry you, and I don't.
A move that reminded fans of when Season 2's Deepti powerfully chose herself over her fiancé Shake after he also commented on contestants' bodies. Well, Zanab has some words for critics accusing her of just trying to have a Deepti moment. In a November 10th Instagram post, the 32-year-old writes, "I'm sorry Deepti's wedding was a week before mine, long before you or I knew her story," referencing to the fact that Zanab and Cole's wedding actually took place before Season 2 of the Netflix show aired in February.
So while things didn't work out between Deepti and her fiancé Abhishek Sheikh Chatterjee on Love is Blind, things might be heating up between her and Kyle. During the jaw-dropping reunion episode, Kyle dropped a bombshell by admitting that he wished he had proposed to Deepti instead of Shayna Hurley, who eventually broke things off with him. Kyle said during the reunion, quote, "I should have asked Deepti to marry me. That's what I learned the most. I f***ed up." He continued, quote, "I should have tried hard for you. I mean, I love her so much. She's the best. I wish I saw what was right in front of me." Now, that brings us to Kyle's latest romance-fueling TikTok video, which was posted a day before the reunion aired. In the clip, Kyle cryptically pans the camera over to give a glimpse of Deepti, revealing that they've been spending time together.
I literally am so traumatized. Like, in the words of Keke Palmer, I am sorry to that man. You know, like, I really am sorry to that man.
And then he clears the dance floor and like asks me, my mom, and my sister to be the only ones on the dance floor because he wants to sing us a special song. Essentially, the whole group of us has put it together that this is the man that my mom was engaged to. And so that was the beginning of the end for my parents' relationship.
I can totally see where people are coming from, but for me, like, you're in the pods for hours. You don't get to see every moment that we're in there because we're in there for days on end. And so sometimes you just need a little bit of pep in your step, mental health check. So it was an inappropriate time, and I take ownership of that.
That's not even bad, but I see that was hard for you, so
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. Well, you do your jumping jacks.
You can hear it?
Oh, yeah.
She really went into those pods without a Bosu ball and a band, so I'm surprised you didn't see more. This girl's always moving.
Yeah, like
she's hip problems.
She sure does. Let her live.
Trash, throw
it away.
It's clout chaser.
It's one thing to say, like, oh, through a wall, like, there's something, you're deceitful, like, you're too cool, calm, and collected, like, something is up, you know, your senses go high. And so, yeah, I think it was a complete depiction of what I was feeling through a wall. It was like, this guy's, like, up to something.
I guess it's a good moment for that. It's okay that I'm doing it.
Like, your eyes are hurting me, like,
Yeah.
I don't need...
I never thought I could care for someone that would bring me to tears.
Hard for the course and
Yeah.
his character.
Yeah, it's typical Ange. She's a very theatrical person, and you know, on the men's side, we saw that and we knew that, and you know, we just knew.
You should have been there.
I think we're all shocked.
You should have been there for the Halloween party.
Yeah.
I have a friendship with Shane. Kyle, I'm not sure how much to trust anymore as a person to be open with me. Not that he's doing anything that he shouldn't, but I can't trust that he's really going to talk to me. And yeah, I think the time for having these deep friendships is maybe past for me with this group of people.
I gave you a 9 out of 10. And then you were like, is there anyone here who you think is a 10 out of 10? I was like, maybe one person.
Yeah, Colleen.
I think Colleen's attractive.
Super to hear.
You want me to say, oh no, you're the only girl I see?
No, I don't, because now, forever, I will always think that's I would have loved to have been in the honeymoon stage. Like, Malibu was my personal hell. Everyone else seemed to be, like, loved up, and I was like, what, like, this is so early on, like, what the actual hell is going on? So it was, like, it's just such a pivotal moment for us. It wasn't a great place to start. I was like, if the first pretty girl you see is gonna, like, just derail us that much, it was a problem.
We had, you know, just some things that weren't compatible in our relationship and our personalities and lifestyles and just the way we interacted. We would just be really tripping over things all the time. And so it went beyond the pool incident with Colleen, but certainly that did not help our relationship in any way.
I appreciate honesty. I think delivery goes a long way, so maybe it could have been delivered a little different, and maybe there's just things you don't say to your fiance, you know?
Are you bipolar?
We're having a very serious conversation.
What
so
did I
I'd love
ask
to
you
know.
just now? I asked you a question.
You asked if I was bipolar.
Oh, are you bipolar? I mean, I don't have anything to say about it. I really don't.
Ayanna McNeely and Jarrett Jones are going in different directions. The couple announced their split in an August 17th joint statement nearly 6 months after Love is Blind viewers watched them tie the knot in season 2. Ayanna and Jarrett write on Instagram, after much thought, we're saddened to share that we have separated and will begin the process of divorcing. While we have love for each other, our lives are going in different directions, and that's okay. Coming to this decision was far from easy, and we will always wish each other the absolute best.
The experiment is over for Love is Blind stars Danielle Rule and Nick Thompson. ENews confirms that Danielle has filed for divorce a little more than a year after the couple said I do in season 2 of Netflix's hit reality dating series. Danielle and Nick got engaged in the first episode after connecting in the pods sight unseen. And following a bumpy road to the altar, they made it official in the season finale. Earlier this month, the pair looked happy together in photos taken with their co-stars at Lollapalooza in Chicago. With Danielle and Nick split, there are now no original couples left from Love is Blind Season 2.
Love is Blind's Deepti Patty and Kyle Abrams are moving on. Months after getting engaged to different people on season 2 of Netflix's hit dating show, the co-stars confirmed their relationship during After the Altar, which dropped September 16th. However, in a September 19th Instagram post, Kyle shares, since filming the follow-up, they've broken up, writing, "We had decided to go our separate ways in early summer." He then adds, "I have since embarked on a new relationship, which I intend to keep private for a bit. As for what the future holds, I have not a clue. Going forward, I plan to live each day in the present without any regret." Meanwhile, Deepti captions a September 20th IG reel, "Kyle and I are now walking different paths and are no longer together. We couldn't share these memories over the past year, so sharing them now. Thank you all for your continued love and support." She concludes, "People come into your life for a chapter, a season, or a lifetime." Love is Blind's Raven Ross and Sekiru SK Alagbada are officially over. The season 3 stars write on Instagram on November 20th, "We are saddened to announce that we have decided to go our separate ways." News of their breakup comes on the heels of allegations that SK was unfaithful during the course of their relationship. In their joint statement, the former couple continues, "Due to ongoing legal proceedings surrounding these allegations, we cannot provide additional details and ask that you please respect our privacy during this hard time."
Do I have any regrets? I definitely feel like when we were in Mexico and the conversation that I had with Mallory, I could have tailored that a little bit differently. You know, I was, at that point I was engaged and, you know, emotions were high. We were just coming out of the pods and that was my first time seeing her. But I could have, out of respect for my wife or my fiance at the time, I could have tailored the conversation a little bit differently. So that's probably the only regret that I have.
Yeah, I just wish that I had handled some of my concerns a little bit better and brought those up in a more healthy way.
I have zero regrets. I'm not the kind of person. I have zero regrets in what I did, you know, because I wouldn't have learned from any of the mistakes that I did make.
Some regrets that I would have during the show is I wasn't more forthright in my feelings. I was definitely guarded. I've learned to be open, and another regret was I should have never put in my personal opinion so far out there on something that I did not have full knowledge of.
Irina Solomonova is no longer turning a blind eye to the drama that she's caused. The Love is Blind contestant issues an apology to her fellow season 4 castmates and the viewers after she was deemed the villain by fans of the show. On April 2nd, Irina takes to Instagram with this message.
The first thing I want to say is that I have privately apologized to the people that I have hurt and mistreated. And second of all, I wanted to say I'm so sorry for the people that watched the show that felt frustrated, angry, hurt by the way that I was mistreating people on the show. It was very immature and naive of me in a lot of those situations.
How drastically has your life changed since the first episodes have aired?
Sorry. I'm really happy for the experience, and you know, I definitely fell in love, and that's what I came there for. But you know, it's just been hard kind of watching how things played out, you know, on the screen, and you know, kind of how people are reacting. And the last thing that I want is like sympathy or anything, but it's still, you know, emotional for me. So I just kind of get emotional sometimes when I like think about it, or obviously I have to talk about it right now, but.
Say, what's up, buddy? Yeah, we went from Zaddy on screen to Daddy in real life, yep.
Love is Blind's Bartice Bowden finally finds everlasting love. The 27-year-old Netflix star announces that he has welcomed his first child, a baby boy. Alongside a series of photos posted to Instagram on April 7th, Bartice writes, quote, "Might have been the villain on TV, but I'm going to be the hero for him. Instagram, meet my little man, #big fella."
Did you ever consider reaching out to anyone that you connected with in the pods, anyone else?
Yes, I actually reached out to Keisha, and we tried.
Mm-hmm.
We tried, but I wanted to just distance myself from all of that, from that experience, and it was going to be difficult to try to make a relationship with Keisha, and I'm still to this day just very kind of like apologetic about starting something and like getting her hopes up, and me kind of going back in my shell like, I don't know, it's it's just not really the time or the place, and it was rough.
They are saying a lot of things about Micah and Irina. Do you feel like the criticism they're receiving, is it justified or is it blown out of proportion?
Yeah, that's a tricky one. I have hated to see that. I know that they made mistakes, but they do not deserve that intensity of criticism. It's just not fair. It's not right. I think, you know, when you're receiving like just hundreds of thousands of death threats and wishing you're dead, that's just not. It's not, they know that they made mistakes, right? And they've acknowledged them, and I think that that's all you can ask for from somebody, you don't want to continually punish somebody beyond what is necessary to make them recognize that they made a mistake.